Hello everyone, this is Wanda from Wanderous Creations. Today we're going to transform 3 wooden rolling pins. The first one I painted in white swan on the barrel, and now I'm using garden bouquet IOD stamp. What I'm doing here is I'm taking a piece of 220 sandpaper and I'm just running it across my stamp. You'll always want to do that the first time you ever use a stamp. You only have to do it the first time, and what that does is it takes off any excess plastic that might be on the stamp itself that would inhibit you from having a clean stamp. This right here is what I'm doing is I'm just marking on the rolling pin where I'm starting the stamp, and you'll notice when I roll it out, I don't want it to overlap. It does, but not in, I end up overlapping it. You'll see it, and I liked it, so I just went with it. But this is a little trick that I do, and I'm trying to here figure out how I want the images to be on the rolling pin. So right now I do not have any ink on the stamp. I'm just playing around with the lineup of the images and deciding which flowers I want on there. So I grab my ink pad and I grab my ink, and this is IOD black, and I'm just putting ink on my black ink pad. I have an ink pad for each color ink that I have. Just making sure that I have plenty of ink on there and moving it around with the tip of the ink bottle. And here I'm grabbing my brayer, running it across the ink pad to get plenty of ink on the barrel of the brayer. See, I ended up getting some ink on my fingers. Hey, that's okay. I have crafter's hands. I usually have paint, ink, whatever on my hands. And now I'm running the brayer across the stamp, adding the ink to it all over this section, this page of the stamp. If you've never used IOD stamps, these stamps are, you can pull these off the plastic that they're attached to very easily, but because I'm going to use a rolling pin, I wanted to keep them on there so that they wouldn't shift. So right now I'm just kind of lining up the rolling pin before I lay it down onto the ink, making sure that I have the rolling pin straight, and then I lay it down and gently press, rolling it across the page of stamps. Like I said, I did accidentally overlap right there, you can see it, but I liked it, so I just went with it. Very easy to do, and then that's the finished product. On this particular rolling pin, I decided to use this rice paper, and this rice paper is called Market Roses. And I'm going to put it over. You can see that I started out with painting the barrel in white swan again. Whenever you use rice paper or decoupage paper, whatever is underneath the paper, if you want it to be a bright image, you want to make sure that it's a light color. So I typically go with white so that the paper will pop. right here, all that is that I have in that container is water. So I'm running a paintbrush in water across the paper. This is just because it makes it easier to rip, and I want that edge to be taken off. So you can see how easy it is to rip it away when you get the rice paper wet. I'm gonna do this on all of the edges, and I'm gonna show you that I'm going to do it on all sides. And you're probably wondering, why didn't you cut them? Well, the reason why I didn't cut them is because the jagged edge will line up better when the two sides meet than if I had a straight edge over a straight edge. They fade in together a lot better so that it looks like it's seamless. It isn't, but it just appears to be better than a straight edge. And this really holds true if you want to put a piece of rice paper on something and you have to do a paint blend to fade the edge into a surface. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. So that's what I tend to do, is I just tend to take rip the edges off so that it's a jagged edge. Here I'm using DIY liquid patina, and I'm going to put a generous amount all over the barrel of the rolling pin using a foam brush. I have sanded this barrel and wiped it down. I didn't show you that part, but just in case I had paint lumps on the surface, I just want to make sure that I have a smooth surface for the paper to lay against. You don't want the bumps to show through your paper. Getting this all over the barrel. And now I'm going to lay the barrel on the paper. I'm going to take the Ziploc bag, put it on my hand to create a smooth, so it's slippery, so it makes my hand slippery, so it's a lot easier to smooth out and to be a little bit rough with the paper. I don't want the paper to rip, so this just allows me to smooth out all the wrinkles, make sure that the decoupage liquid patina is getting onto all of the rice paper. You'll see that I can see how the two edges meet. So now I want to make sure that where the edges meet, I have a really clean adhesion, and I'm putting more liquid patina on there and just smoothing it out. And I'm gonna let that sit that down, and I'm gonna let that dry. And you can see, I didn't show you this part, but on the previous clip, you'll see, you probably noticed that the edges had overlap. I sanded those with some 220 sandpaper to get a clean edge of the paper at the end of the barrel. And just there, all I did was I just sealed the top with DIY liquid patina. And I did that after the paper had dried. I sanded it and then I put DIY liquid patina on after the paper had dried from the initial application. And now I'm going to use DIY Big Top, and I'm going to put it on both the rolling pin that had the decoupage paper and the rolling pin that I did the stamp on. So I just wanted you to see that DIY Big Top is a water-based sealer, has a little bit more of a gloss, and so I put it over the whole rolling pin to protect the stamp, and then you'll see that I did it as well for the decoupage paper. And I put 2 to 3 coats of Big Top on each of these. Here you can see that, well, first I'm going to paint the handles, so I'm showing you this. This is DIY Petticoat Pink. So I'm painting the handles. On the rolling pin that you see sitting there, the stamped one, the handles, I painted them in DIY Apothecary, just so you know. I thought the pink went well with this paper, so I was really pleased with how this came out. I thought it was so super cute. I really love this pink. And I did that on both sides, on both handles. And I didn't show you, but I did seal that rolling pin with, and the handles with, DIY Big Top. This particular rolling pin, I painted the barrel in Apothecary, and I painted the handles in White Swan, and I sealed the barrels because I decided for this one that I wanted to put transfers on it, and so I sealed the barrel first with DIY Big Top, and I let it dry. All of these rolling pins, I let them dry before I went on to the next stage, just so that you know that. And I laid the transfer on. This transfer is Wild Blomin. It's one of the newest ones from the IOD 2025 Spring Collection. Did you notice a theme of these rolling pins? They're all flowers, ready for spring. And these rolling pins, I wouldn't use them for food. I'm just going to put that as a disclaimer, because even though a lot of the products that I've used are natural, they aren't classified as food safe by the FDA. And so this is my legal disclaimer. The other thing too is you're not going to want to have to wash these a lot, because it may fade the images, and so these are really strictly for decor. But I think that they look so cute if you can hang them on a wall in your kitchen, or if you just plunk them in a crock and have, you know, the regular rolling pins you use, but put a decorated one in. And these would be a great gift to give somebody. And you can buy wooden rolling pins at the big box stores that are brand new, and then you can create something fun for somebody as a gift. I'm just finishing up on the transfer, and I do have a transfer video that I did recently, but all I am doing is I've laid the transfer down and I'm running the applicator stick across the image and releasing it from the sticky plastic. Just showing you that, and I'm going to continue on adding to the garden with the rolling pin. I'm now showing you I'm going to seal this rolling pin with Big Top. Again, using the foam brush, just running it across. And again, like the others, I probably did 3 coats of Big Top just to ensure that all of the transfers were sealed and the paint was sealed in, and I did it on the barrel as well as the handles. And that's the last image of it.